All right, shalom, shalom. Call hello, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua Bashim Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and salutations to you brothers that's pushing this word in sincerity and truth. All right, so I have an article that I'm going to go into. I was just reading it, and it was kind of interesting, and I'm going to bring out some precepts, but I'm not going to read the whole article, but I'm going to go into it. This is from shithitsthefanplan.com. These articles, man, when you go into it, then a lot of things is taking place, man. There's a threat of another housing slowdown, a housing recession. All right. There's a lot of talk of certain things that's going down, man, in the world, man. It's imperative that brothers watch. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go and get that scripture. Let's see if I can find it. Bear with me for a second. We're in Luke 25 and 13. Matthew 25 and 13 it says, watch therefore, for ye know neither the day nor hour when the Son of Man cometh. Because we are we are to watch as well as pray. All right, watch therefore. All right. As a matter of fact, that goes in on the virgins, the 5 virgins. The 10 virgins, 5 were wise, 5 were foolish. Matthew 24 and 42. It says, watch therefore, for ye know not what hour your Lord doth come. But know this, that if the good man of the house had known in what watch the thief would come, he would have watched and would have not suffered his house to be broken up. Therefore be ye also ready, for in such an hour as ye think not the Son of Man cometh. Whoso then is a faithful and wise servant, whom his Lord have made ruler over his household, to give them meat in due season. And the meat in due season that we're going to receive is the kingdom of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. All right. It says, blessed is that servant whom his Lord, when he cometh, shall find so doing. Verily, I say unto you that he shall make him ruler over all his goods. All right. And that's the kingdom of heaven, but you have to watch. All right, watch therefore, for ye know not the hour that the Son of Man cometh. Now we know that there is a economic slowdown in the midst, of America, all right, which is going to lead to a recession and then a depression. All right, we know that these things are coming. That's why we're watching. All right, so we have articles like this to basically, get your mind right. This is Michael Snyder. December 4th, the economic collapse. Now, this is a guy that writes a blog, the Economic Collapse blog, okay? Somebody pressed the panic button on Wall Street. Bank stocks and tech stocks crash as yield curve inverts. But this is the article that we're going into. This guy writes a lot of articles. The elites are creating an authoritarian beast system, and those that dissent could lose everything. I read this article earlier. This was a good article to go on. To take a look at, because it goes in on what China is doing over there in regards to the surveillance state that they've created, and America is going to emulate it. All right, you won't be able to go certain places or do certain things because you put out YouTube videos condemning Esau and the government. So these things are in the works. All right, therefore we're watching. But this is the article that I wanted to get into: the psychological bubble that has been propping up the U.S. economy is starting to implode, okay? And I'm going to get on there, take a look at this article. We're going to go into this article. Not going to read the whole thing, but it says optimism can be a very powerful thing. So when I said optimism, when I went into optimism, I looked at the word optimism. It says hopefulness and confidence about the future or successful outcome of something. In this case, people think that America is going to bounce back. All right, the economic downturn of 2008 was going to turn around and America would become prosperous. All right, because you've had a number of economic downturns in America. You see all of that just pops up. Economic downturn 2018. I just saw one that says, this is what I wanted right here. And it says, let's go. Here's a list of recessions, list of economic crises. That's what we'll go to. So it says a list of economic crises in the 19th century, in the 20th century. You had a list of economic crises. You had in the 70s, you had the energy crisis. It says was a period when major industrial countries of the world, particularly the United States, Canada, Western Europe, Japan, Australia, New Zealand, faced substantial petroleum shortages, real and perceived, as well as elevated prices. So that was a crisis. You've had multiple crises in the 90s. In the 90s, these are different crises throughout. You had one in Mexico in 94. 2000, you had a recession in 2000. Subprime. So you have multiple crises. 2010. As you can see on the screen, there's multiple crises that you've had throughout these different economies of the world. United States housing bubble. This is a crisis. Real estate bubble affecting over half of the U.S. states. Housing prices peaked in early 2006, started to decline in 2007 and 2006 and 2007, and reached new lows in 2012 on December 30th, 2008. Okay, so you had a housing crisis, United States housing correction. So you had these things, and people are always optimistic about things getting back to normal. When you look up optimism on the Etymo online, it says it's from French, optimisme, from modern Latin, optimum. This was used by Gottfried Leibniz. Bear with me if I'm, Shalaki, if I'm saying the names wrong. It said to mean the greatest good, from Latin, Optimus, the best. The doctrine holds that the actual world is the best of all possible worlds. All right. But guess what? There's not going to be any more optimism, because the reality is going to set in that this economy is going to collapse and everything is going to fall, because we're at the end of this thing, man. We're at the end of this. Let's go to one of the precepts that I was looking into. The first precept is going to be Ecclesiastes. We at the 12th chapter. It says, I'm going to start in 1. It says, remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. While the sun, or the light, or the moon, or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they have few, and those that look out the windows be darkened. So those that look out the windows being, I'm gonna read it again. And those that look out of the windows be darkened. All right, those are the people that have lost the optimism in the society. All right, the keepers of the house. Who are the keepers of the house? Top economic forecasters. All right, and the peoples that look out the windows that be darkened, those are the people that they're going to look out and they're losing optimism. And that's the basis of this article, the psychological bubble that has been propping up the U.S. economy is starting to explode, because people are waking up to the reality that this economy is not going to get better. Actually, this economy is going to get worse. All right, people are preparing for an economic slowdown. Okay, and there's a lot of factors that are contributing to the people losing optimism. All right. Plus, prophecies have to be fulfilled. Let me go here real quick to what is it? Mirth. And let's go to the book of Isaiah. There's two scriptures that I want to bring out in here, maybe three. And then, hey, looking at these precepts dealing with mirth, which America has a false sense of mirth, but they project a false sense of stability and mirth. But the Most High is getting ready to take the joy out of this place. I'm gonna start at Isaiah 24. Isaiah 24 and Isaiah 24:6, it says, "Therefore have the curse devoured the earth." Now, what is the curse? Those nuclear missiles, the judgment of the Lord. Also, the curse of those chariots coming with the fire up into the house of the thief. And the thief is the so-called white man, the Edomites. It says, "Therefore have the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left. The new wine mourneth, the vine languisheth, all the merry-hearted do sigh." All right, see all the people that were merry-hearted in this society, that live good, all right, they're going to sigh. It says, "All the merry-hearted do sigh. The mirth of the tabaret ceaseth. The noise of them that rejoice endeth, and the joy of the harp ceaseth. They shall not drink wine with a song. Strong drink shall be bitter to them that drink it. The city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up, that no man may come in. There is a crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone." And why is the mirth of the land is gone? Because the psychological bubble has burst. All the entertainment and the things that kept the American people distracted while they were being robbed, all right, by their elites, by their politicians, while they were being lied to by the media, all right, it's no more in effect, because the reality is going to set in that this economy is not going to rebound, all right? And people are going to be looking for another option, which they have in the form of the microchip, which ultimately, if you take the microchip, you're going to be put to death, because that's the mark of the beast. But this thing has to come. It says, but now things have abruptly shifted. In late 2018, an increasing number of Americans believe that an economic downturn is coming, and they are taking actions consistent with that belief. As a result, they are actually helping to produce the result that they fear. And without a doubt, any rational person should be able to see that signs that the U.S. economy is slowing down are all around us. So you should be able to see that the economy is slowing down all around us by what are we seeing? All right, and this article is going to go into it, but a lot of things that this article mentioned, like the closing of stores, all right, these tariffs, these trade wars, they're affecting average people, all right, and people are losing jobs, people are losing money, people are losing livelihoods, all right. It says, so it isn't as if those that are preparing for the worst are being irrational. It is just that when large numbers of people all start to move in the same direction, it has a very powerful effect. We witnessed this in the stock market in recent years, when people just kept buying stocks even though they were massively overvalued. The collective belief that there was money to be made in the stock market became a self-fulfilling prophecy, which put stock prices up to absurd heights. That's why you saw the stock market over 25,000. All right, which that was phony, man. That was phony, and everybody knew that it was going to come down eventually. All right, Wall Street. What was going on Wall Street wasn't what was actually going on in Main Street. People were suffering. People were complaining. The You have a rash, especially in states like California. You have an influx of the homeless population. Okay, now you're coming into the winter months when it gets hard, and you're coming into the Christmas time, holiday time, and this is where people start robbing people and doing all types of things, breaking in and stealing packages and all types of stuff. It says, but now that process is beginning to reverse as well, and ultimately the unwinding of the bubble will be quite painful. All right, so the unwinding of the bubble is your economic collapse. It's going to be painful. Things are going to happen. People are going to lose jobs. Okay, the scriptures say that the grinding shall cease. All right, back in here, Ecclesiastes 12 and 3, it says, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinding ceaseth because they are few, and those that look out the windows be darkened. All right, the grinding cease. Okay, go ahead real quick. Let's see. Takan, look like the word takan, grinding, to grind, to crush it, to grind the face of the poor, to oppress him. Let's see. To grind, it says, to grind meal, hence to be a to grind, to be a concubine. That being their employment. Grinding is dealing with employment. If you get a pink slip, especially those GM workers, they're not looking at the economy like the economy is booming. All right, they're looking at the economy as, look, man, this things is getting bad. We're hearing on the television that things are good, and that's another reason why you're going to have mass riots in the streets of America. All right, because the top politicians and these leaders and the media that they all work hand in hand together, they've been lying to the people. All right, that's why the scriptures talk about the uh, the higher kept that. Let me look at this. Let me look it up real quick. Uh, uh, James 5:4 says, "Behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud, crieth, and the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth." All right. Matter of fact, and in another scripture, because this is beautiful. This is Psalm 10:7. It says, and this is talking about Esau, the so-called white man. All right. It said, let me see. I'm gonna start at I'm gonna start at 1. I'm gonna start at 1, but the point is in 7. All right, it says, why standest thou afar off, O Lord? Why hidest thou thyself in times of trouble? The wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. For the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire. I'm getting microchipping the people. All right, that's one of his desires. But when you look into these different institutions that Esau has set up, so-called white man has set up, Jake gets the short end of the stick. Okay, you buy a house and the value of the property was a certain value when you bought it, but then when you go to sell it, the value that you thought it would be worth is not worth that value. Okay, and a lot of these things are done behind closed doors, and a lot of times it's done through secret counsel. All right, the wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. Let him be taken in the devices that they have imagined. For the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, and blesseth the covetous, and blesseth the covetous, whom the Lord abhorreth. The wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after Yahweh. Yahweh is not in all his thoughts. His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth up at them. He hath said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity, and that's all in his society. All right, he have these people believing um, that everything is going to be okay when it's not. Okay, under his tongue is mischief and vanity. All right, his ways are grievous. All right, following after his ways, people go bankrupt. All right, people lose money. A lot of things is happening. People are going to take L's. All right, and he brought out in this article, Michael Snyder. He brought out the fact that malls and shopping centers owners across the U.S. are preparing to be hit with more store closures. So this is going to bring a drain on the commercial real estate side, because you have all of these malls and shopping facilities that, and you can see it now, you have a lot of empty stores. A lot of stores go out of business. And there's a lot of shops, a lot of empty stores saying lease, or for rent, you know. But if people don't have confidence and people are not optimistic about a future, who wants to invest? All right, who wants to invest? All right. It's going to come a time where you have a lot of these Dunkin' Donuts and 7-Elevens and what else? Subways and a lot of these retail spots. They're going to close. Okay, they're going to close down. They're going to close down, and a lot of those are owned by foreigners. And guess what's going to happen? They're going to take that money that they made and they're going to go back to their own country, and they're going to convert that money into their own currency. All right. It says now a slew of specialty retailers like Gap and L Brand are getting serious about downsizing. So you have big companies like Gap, companies like L Brand. These companies are downsizing. What does downsizing mean? It means closing stores and laying off workers. All right. It says another sector where there has been major psychological shifts is the real estate industry. Home prices have been falling all over the nation, and this includes markets that were once extremely hot, such as San Francisco. So we got brothers out there in the Bay Area, and they tell us stories about how the rent prices are so fucking high that you got people living in houses, living on a sofa and paying like $700 just to live on the sofa and hold the sofa down. Multiple people living in an apartment, all right, contributing and paying a high price, all right. But when you have an economic slowdown, you have all these people that bought houses, all right, when they were told that the economy was getting better in San Francisco and they was having jobs, they were able to get these jobs in Silicon Valley, all right, and they were buying these houses. These houses were overpriced, and they were buying them, and they were keeping a mortgage because they have the job, they can afford it. But when the economy slows down, prices are going to drop because people are not going to be able to afford to afford that lifestyle. Okay, so you're going to have problems on that front. It said in San Francisco, the number of homes with a price cut in October nearly doubled to 238 from 124 last October, according to data from Realtor.com. So this is all data that Esau compiled statistics together. It says that's nothing compared to Santa Clara County, and this is California. California is going to face mass foreclosures again. All right. It says if homeowners believe that the dip was just temporary and that home prices would start surging again, because people when people see that their housing values goes up, and when the house is appraised for more than what they brought for the house, you can borrow money against the equity in your house. And a lot of people then borrowed equity, all right, in their house. And if the prices drop, guess what happens? Guess what happens? And you can't afford that mortgage, then you're going to owe more on the house than what the house is worth, because you took out another mortgage on the house just to pay off bills or to buy stuff, to buy a new car, so on and so forth. All right. People are going to catch hell, man. In some cases, home prices are being reduced by hundreds of thousands of dollars, while It says, why throw all of that money away if the market is going to bounce back shortly? Then he goes into the auto industry. So all these industries are taking hits: the agriculture industry, the auto industry, the retail, commercial real estate, residential real estate. As a matter of fact, brings me to this scripture right here. Let's see. What is this? What is this? Yeshaya or Isaiah, the 18th chapter. Is it the 8th? No, it's probably in the 19th chapter. Let's see. Yeah, this is verse Isaiah 19, verse 13 of Yeshaya. It says, the Lord have mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. All right, neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail or the branch shall rust. So you're not going to have any jobs and all your institutions and all things that Esau, because Esau makes money off of this. Commercial real estate, you're dealing with taxes. Okay, you're dealing with money that the state brings in. All right, what does that mean? When you have people leaving, people running out of business, that means that they're dissolving their businesses. Their businesses are no longer contributing to the taxes. Then those taxes, that tax revenue is going to fall. Okay, these different states have debt. They gotta pay their debts. Okay, they have credit ratings that they have to maintain. If they can't pay off the interest on their debts, they can't pay towards the principal of the debts. Their bond ratings go down. People don't want to invest in these bonds, so you're going to have a lot of trouble coming down the pipe, and it's all going to come suddenly. All right, and the only answer that is going to seem like the correct answer for these politicians is embracing the mark of the beast, the RFID chip, as a form of reform. Okay, the psychological bubble that has been propping up the U.S. economy is starting to implode. All right, and once this bubble implodes, all facets of life are going to be affected. All right. Isaiah 19 and 14, it says, the Lord hath mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. Neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rust may do. In that day shall Egypt be like unto a woman, and it shall be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand of the Lord of hosts, which he shaketh over it. Because the Lord, not to mention that these things going to be happening, but the Lord is going to be working, and people are going to be in fear, man. All right, people are going to be in fear. All right, so with that, Lord's will, this video was edifying. This video was edifying because, look, the bubble is going to burst. All right, everything that people are used to, all right, it's going to come crashing down. The Lord's going to take the mirth out of this society, the joy out of this society. Okay, and brothers, just keep on watching and praying. All right, because this thing is going to get bad out here. All facets of life is going to come to a collapse suddenly, and we should start seeing signs if things go according to the trend. You should start seeing the signs or the tokens. All right, in the first quarter, 2019. All right, the first quarter, the first 3 months, that's going to set the bar, man. It's going to set the bar. So with that, I just want to give all praises to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem Kodash. All right, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And salutations to you brothers that's pushing this word, man. Keep on doing the work. Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua is making good on his word. You can see it. Shalom.